Welcome to the Game Corner, another video game podcast. My name is Harrison. You might know me online as Rix, and I'm joined, as always, by friend and co-host
Rowan. You might know me as Mocha, and I am running out of sleeveless shirts.
Oh,
on the tattoo front again. Yeah, no, this is like, it's really annoying. It scales off of you, and like if I wear sleeves, it hurts. So yeah, we're in the home stretch now.
Hey, but if at least if you are at full health and you take damage, it's only half damage. If you have multiple scales falling off of you.
I'm leaving. Turning this off. Goodbye.
All right, it's been a great episode of the Game Corner. Press starting game on.
What was I gonna say?
I'm glad I distracted you entirely away from your train of thought.
Yeah. So, we don't really have a lot new that's happened since last week. Honestly, Reg G is still fresh. We're still on day -1 of the format. Yeah, so
I was gonna say we're missing like even the Piccoletics update. We can talk about that a little bit.
Yeah, we're still excited for Indy next weekend, but it is what it is. We just booked our Airbnb for NAIC, so really excited about that. Anybody who's going to be in New Orleans for that weekend.
And it was an extremely smooth process that neither you nor I contributed to messing up for other people.
Right? Yeah. Well, oh no, I might have slightly contributed to messing it up. Apparently, Mike is the only one with who wanted to stay an extra night. So
Oh yeah, no, I read it wrong too because I'm the one that mentioned Kevin, so it's completely our fault for doing that.
Yeah. So both of us messed it up for someone is what we're saying.
Yeah. I was just trying to be a little sarcastic about it.
Brutal. Okay, yeah. No, we'll figure it out. I'm super excited for that. The French Quarter is so much fun. Yeah, the French Quarter is super fun. NAIC is going to be a great time. Looking forward to seeing everybody there. On the topic of travel, I think I'm just going to jump into pretty much the only topic I could think of for today. With Worlds around the corner-ish, the season ends after NAIC is the thing. No more events, period, are going to happen after internets, which means that no one, like, there's no more locals, no more anything. So if you don't earn the points for your Worlds invite by then, you're done. So, and that's in a month. So people
is it officially no locals too?
I believe so. I think that's what I heard earlier in this, like when the season started.
Oh, interesting. I mean, I guess there's a degree of that makes sense, but I didn't know that. Okay.
Yeah, cool. So what that means is that, people are getting antsy about their invites, and it's starting to stir up a lot of discord about, like, discourse, Discord also, maybe, about, like, what it takes to earn the points. This year, TPCI increased the threshold for making Worlds. They lowered the threshold for earning points at regionals. So, like, 5-4 people can actually earn 30 points, which used to never be the case. But on the flip side, it now takes 500 points to earn a Worlds invite, and if you live in North America, not including Mexico for whatever reason, but US and Canada need 500 points, and that is a lot. Finding out. So this past weekend, I was able to earn 90 points from just going to locals, just like first and second at a couple of MSSs. But like, it's very interesting. Like, people are kind of deciding whether or not, like, everyone, if you make it to Worlds, you earned your invite, but some invites are earned more than others, I guess, is what's going on here.
Yeah, so it's interesting, right? Like, the issue is, like you said, they've raised the level cap. No, that's not it. They raised the point threshold for getting into Worlds, right, by 25%. But, and yes, they did increase the or lower the threshold, like you said. Like, more people at regionals get points, right? It is a lesser amount of points,
but there's a 6 best finish limit for any kind of event, including regionals. So you could go 5-4 at every regional, and that's 30 points times 6. So that's only 180 points.
Yeah.
And then you can't get any more from regionals unless you place better than that, at which point you only earn the difference. So 180 out of 500 is nothing. You still need to go to a lot of stuff, even if you hit that low bar at every regional. So, like, it's a slog.
It's definitely...
I'm finding that I'm gonna have to go, like, I'm traveling for MSSs this month and to one more regional before NAIC to try to hit my bar.
Yeah, so I mean, how many points are you? So Rowan decided in the last, like, week that he wants to gun for Worlds.
Yeah, I mean, I got 2 MSS wins, 1 MSS second, and a regional top 16. So like it made sense suddenly that I could make
True.
it. Like I get all those in quick succession. Like I a little worried that it was just like Reg F, like really good, and I'm not going to be able to adapt to this format quite as well. But we'll see.
Are you going to Indy?
No, I'm not going to Indy. That's this weekend.
Right. That's why I was like,
I was a little tempted, but I don't understand this format well enough to burn the money. If I was really confident, I probably would.
No one else does either.
Oh no, some of them do.
Hey, you just need to get another top 16
5-4,
win.
right? Yeah, there we go. Oh, yeah, top 16 would be great. But on that note, actually, so what like a big part of this kind of stemmed from what my complaint was as well is that there seems to be more of a focus on quantity than quality of finishes in this case, right? Like, but it's a rough balance to strike. So I guess the point is, I went to 2 MSSs that were pretty small compared to a regular MSS because it was the last week of Reg F, and who wants to play in a dead format unless you're gunning for Worlds? So like everyone there was good because they were all, chasing an invite. But there was only like 15 people in each of them, and so basically I earned 90 points in a weekend of playing against friends in 15-person locals, and 2 weeks before that I got top 10 out of 800 something people, of which there were many people better than anyone in Georgia there outside of maybe Toller, and that earned me 80 compared to 90 last weekend. Like that makes no sense.
How many tournaments was last weekend? You said two?
Just two. I played in 2 locals and I earned more than top 10 at a regional.
I mean, like, even if you divide that out, like 45 points per event, and it maybe wasn't actually that, but whatever.
It was 50 and 40, yeah. Like
okay.
Yeah.
So still, 50 and 40 for a 15, 16 person event.
It's kind of wild.
It's wild compared to this. So I know there's been some discussion before. I've heard stuff like, hey, well, you can just almost like rig locals,
you absolutely
right?
Can. Yeah, because the minimum to earn points is like 4 or something at an event.
Yeah.
Like it's silly. So, I've seen a lot of people say like maybe we should base it on number of people at an event. I think that would be great personally. The problem is that you have to avoid discriminating against people in small scenes. A lot of people could only earn their Worlds invite because they either can't afford to travel or there's like they are just not anywhere close to like bigger events. But
yeah,
it's hard. Like I think that locals should still award points, but I do think it should scale with the number of people there. And I also think that, like, to be frank,
the payout at
like any esport, unfortunately, it costs money to compete. Like that.
Yeah.
That is the nature of the game. It sucks. It means that some people are going to be able to compete and some won't. But like live in a capitalist society, like friends, like that's kind of how it plays out.
Well, that's just it, right? Like, so you have, I mean, there's a number of regionals throughout the season, and they are spread out throughout the states, in our case. But that doesn't mean that, everyone is fortunate enough to have a regional at some point in the season in their backyard, right? Like, right. I got to drive an hour to Orlando a couple weekends ago, and many other people are in similar boats, but not everyone is. In fact, most people are not, right?
Yeah, there hasn't been a major in Georgia in years and years and years. Like I've had to go out of state for every single one. Like that is unfortunately just how it plans out.
So like, it definitely is to actually earn your World's invite. Not only do you have to get so many points, right? And then that means placing well in a number of events. You have to get to the events themselves, which often is going to involve flights, hotels, taking time off work sometimes, right? Like all this stuff that costs time and money for people to go do, that makes it
you will have to, even if you absolutely destroy all your locals. Like you can do 6 MSSs, right? An MSS, if you win it, gives you 50 points. 50 times 6 is 300. You're still 200 off.
Yep.
From
are PCs and MSS different pools or no? Or the same
there
pool?
Are different amounts of payout. Yeah, PC is only 30 points for first place.
I mean, okay, so then even if you got first place in 6 of each, you are still 20 points short. You still will have to travel to a regional. I guess you could do a global challenge. Like in theory, you could never leave your backyard, but you'd have to get first in everything 6 times. Yeah, and that is
12 times, I guess. Yeah, it's kind of wild. It's not realistic. You will have to travel to play the game, or to go to Worlds at least, right?
Yeah. Consistency is a big thing in this game, but like there's still RNG, there's other things. You're not going to get first in 12 straight events, right?
But I guess to that point, like I think that it would be maybe better for people who can't afford to travel as much if you manage to weight single good performance as well. Like, again, I'm biased because I happen to have one, which was like, I'm proud of it, but there was also some luck involved. I had good matchup selection and all that, right?
Mhm.
But I personally think that, like, okay, so if what I did 2 weekends ago should count, I'm happy with last weekend too, but I'm sorry, it was not the same like
Sure,
amount of
yeah.
it was not the same level of difficulty as it was at
Orlando
Orlando, right?
was much more difficult
Yeah,
than
than
two
two
locals.
locals. So I feel that if you do well at a massive 800 plus person tournament, you should get more than like you should get some kind of bonus based on like how many hundreds of people happen to show up. At this point, regionals are internets. We're not
Yeah.
going to have much more people at NAIC than we had in Orlando.
No. So like how like okay, let's just spitball some fun ideas, right? So if we take, and I should have pulled this up beforehand thinking about it, but if we take the structure for points payouts now, which is how many points did you get at Orlando? You said 80?
80, yeah.
Okay, so let's say you top 10 or you were top 10, top 16 points is 80. I mean top, whatever, you know what I said. At an 800 person event, how many points should you have gotten, do you think?
I would
Like
say
what's
that
the
like
bonus for an 800 person event?
so
Theoretically, right? Just
I
throwing...
haven't done the math in my head, honestly. Like, make it 2x if you pass a threshold or something, or 1.5x even. Like, turn that
Sure.
80 into 120 because we've passed a certain kicker. I guess I think that kickers that would be an idea. What if kicker right now the kicker just determines how low in the rankings you can go and still get points?
So that's
what if
what
the
I
kickers
thought, right?
also increase the points as you went up higher?
That would make a lot of sense, I think, because right now it's the same, right? Like top 16 gets the same 80 points.
Top 16 at a 100 person regional gets the same amount of points as at a 1,000 person regional.
Right. So I think that
seems
what makes
silly,
the most
right?
sense. And yeah, it's, I mean, yes, it's silly what it is. What you're saying makes sense, right? Like make that number higher too with the kicker, right? Like they're playing around between last season and this season. They're already playing around with how the kickers work, right? And obviously how and the points threshold to get to worlds, right? They're playing with these numbers.
Yeah.
So maybe in next season they do something like that. We don't know what Play Pokemon's thinking right now.
Yeah, and like it even goes to just things that you and I don't have to worry about, but other people who are a little better than us do, is like travel assistance, right? If you,
right,
I think it's like the top some number of players will earn like a free trip to Worlds, for example, right? The top X number of people will get a buy at Worlds, and that's all just ranking by CP. So you have all these players who just always do well at events like your Rileys and your Wolf Clicks and whatever, right? Like guys who cut or at least day 2 literally everything they go to. The difference between them is locals pretty much. Like maybe not Wolf, maybe Wolf's just guaranteed because he's gotten first at multiple events, but like
sure.
In general, I think that like those guys can just farm locals. Like, at the very, I don't think you should invalidate locals for invites because then you really are screwing with people who live in smaller areas or don't have as much money to their name. But like, it probably shouldn't go towards like the top of the top, because the only people who are going to get travel awards are the ones who are traveling anyway. So they're just in the system at that point.
And they've already like the idea of the snowball has been around for many years in this scene, right? Like it's for any of the Play Pokemon events, TCG, VGC, I guess Go. But like if
you win a travel award to the next one, and then you do really well, and you win another one to the next one.
Yeah, that's basically how it works, right? And the whole time you're just gaining more points along the way as well. So you're gonna stay at the top of the ladder for getting points. So I don't know. It's wild. I hope that they are paying attention to stuff like this and are putting thought into it, and will continue to change it. Like the unfortunate thing is, I'm guessing they have they can't change partway into the season, right? Like they can't just be like, oh, suddenly we want to increase the payout at the top of, for the top 16 players for the higher kickers or whatever. They can't do that. They can't really change the CP threshold for getting to Worlds either, right? Like they set it in the season and that's to wait a whole year to determine what comes next, right? Like I don't know. They have a year to watch, but they have a year to make changes too, or to decide what those changes will be.
It's hard to say. Like they tried to make it better, and I'm not sure they did this time.
No, the thing is too is like it's funny because I think us and many other people were pretty excited for the changes. We wasn't like, oh man, there's more chance to get CP. You have more
Yeah,
people are gonna
it
get.
means there was like less room for error, less room for like you traveled and you get nothing kind of thing, right? Like
Yeah,
at least if you go positive, which like you know doesn't have like sometimes you miss that, but it's way less
I
chance.
know. I'm still upset about it. Did we talk about that last week? I got 120.
Oh, that you bubbled with a 5-4. Yeah, that's pain.
120. No, so 257.
Yeah.
Out of 256. I'm like, you've got to be kidding me. I bubbled out of one. I would have gotten like 20 whole CP. Whatever.
30.
30. I would have gotten 30 whole CP. Is it 30? 30 CP. Oh man, that's. I'm still very bummed. Okay, actually, on that same note, like for bubbling, people who are missing points, and my situation aside, right? It doesn't really matter who it's me. Like, yes, I want to get points. I'm not gunning for worlds, but it changes the perspective. If I know that if I go 5-4, I get points versus
record based makes a lot of sense, right? They already have that for making day 2. I really think it should be that way for points as well. Like 5-4 should guarantee 30, 6-3 should guarantee 40, and same way 7-2 guarantees day 2. Yeah. And going beyond that, and again, selfishness because this happened to me, but even before Orlando, I had seen people talking about an asymmetric cut, and it's like everybody so that you can't bubble out of it, basically. And make it so that everyone who has the same record as 8th place would also be in cut, and you'd just have those matches. You know, obviously off stream, you'd have to skip some stream matches instead of doing everything in top 4 or 8 or whatever. But
yeah, I mean that makes sense too, right? Like there's a lot of chances in the way the format is set up right now that people will basically get screwed by the system.
Yeah,
in one way or another.
Because all you have to do is make it so that the people who did place well have effectively a bye round in this bracket.
Sure.
And then everyone else, like everyone beyond the top 8, just has to play each other until they're eliminated and get into the rest of the bracket. Like,
which I think is fine. Like, I think that'd be great. Or again, when it comes down to like these thresholds of resistance, right? Like that's what it comes down to for like 256, 128, whatever, those numbers. And the points distribution for them, it comes down to like how well did your opponents play, right? That's what resistance is. And like if I'm just having a really bad day, and people, and even if I do well and then drop off or whatever, if I just drop from the tournament completely, then I'm screwing over my opponents one way or the other.
And it shouldn't be on you. Like it.
No,
I'm sorry. If I have a really bad day at a tournament, it shouldn't be like I get kind of annoyed when I play someone who was really good and they decide to drop because they had a bad day.
Yep.
Like that screws me over. But it shouldn't be on them. If they're having a bad day, they shouldn't be forced at gunpoint to play Pokemon for more hours if their heart's not in it. Like that sucks.
Yeah, that's one way to put it. I was gonna say it shouldn't be on me to mess up my opponent's thing by dropping or doing well or whatever. I like yours though. You must play Pokemon. That's kind of what it is, right? Like if there's
emotional gunpoint, you know.
Yeah, if there's empathy, right, to actually sympathy even at this point, for people who are in that position, right? And I'm like, I know that my record is going to affect a good player or someone who's gunning for worlds or whatever. Like, I would want to and hope that my opponents would want to continue to play through the day, right? But if I'm having a bad day and I ain't playing well and my mind's not in it, I'm also not thinking with empathy, right? Like I could not care less about my opponents if I'm having a bad day, and I'm sure that's what happens. So people will drop, and people like don't even think about this too.
Yeah,
because it does make a lot of sense that my dropping negatively affects someone who already beat me.
Yeah,
right.
It's silly. Like, and you do need a system to tiebreak, and because there's so many people, there's going to be a lot of people with the same records, and they're like. At some point there's a cutoff, but yeah, it can obviously be handled better, and we don't know the logistics that they're dealing with, right?
Yeah,
but I get the feeling that it could be done a little better. Like,
and again, right? Like they tried to make changes. The changes were, I think, well received in the beginning, and then was seeing the effects of them now. and hopefully they continue to make changes.
Because don't forget that 7-2 cut was even like a big thing that we got.
Yeah.
That we at the beginning of Sword and Shield, at the beginning of Scarlet and Violet, we had 10 round regionals, which were
I was gonna say even day 2, right?
And then after that, you could go. You could bubble cut. No, you'd bubble day 2 by going 7-3. You had to go 8-2 to guarantee that you would make day 2, which is just brutal. Like
Okay, actually, on that point, I guess they changed the tournament format literally partway into the season. So I guess they could make some
changes before. They could make it better. We'll see if they do.
Yeah. I mean, it's a lot of the changes that we're thinking about right now are easier at the turn of the season, right? Yeah. And between Worlds and the next season, like there is some time, normally at least a couple weeks, month. I don't remember what it was.
Yeah, I don't even know how much of a break we get.
I realized
like after all that travel, I don't know if I'm gonna want to keep playing like this.
Yeah, well, yeah. So that's a good point. So what travel are you doing?
So this week I'm taking off. I'm taking Indy off. I want to watch a bit of the tournament, and I want to spend the week team prepping. After that, so I have choices for the weekend after that between either a local in my backyard, which is just a PC, or could drive hours to Gastonia, North Carolina for an MSS PC doubleheader. But I have a couple buddies who are doing it for sure. So I'm trying to decide if I want to subject myself to that or not. So basically, this week a break, next week a local of some kind. The weekend following that, I am flying to Canada for a 4 times MSS.
How many MSSs do you have right now?
I have 4 finishes. You can get 6 total, but one of those finishes is only 15 points.
Okay.
I think I only got top 8 in that one. So
flying to Canada for this too.
Yeah, so we're staying in college dorms. Like they're nice dorms. Everybody gets their own room at least in there. But like,
nice.
Oh god, I'm trying to decide if I want to do this myself. I think it's the best bet though, because you could in theory earn like 100 in one go or something like that.
Sure. So are you going with people for that to Canada?
I know one guy who's going with me. Yeah, from one of my building servers. We're talking about splitting a room. It's splitting a dorm, so we still each get our own room, which would be nice. Weekend after that is LA regionals, and then I get a break, and then NAIC.
Oh, you're doing LA?
Yeah.
Yeah. Ooh.
Well, at least I've registered for it. If I do really well at the MSSs, then I could cancel everything for LA.
What was that?
That was me dropping. Oh, the cat is going right now, but I did drop something also.
Okay. Well, I thought like your cat like jumped up and like hit something and like was like,
he
oh
does
my gosh.
Now just like jump up and hit me until I play laser pointer with him. It's
yeah.
He's getting aggressive now.
Oh no. So that is literally 6 events between now and NAIC that you're going to partake?
Technically, yeah. Maybe so 1 to 2 next weekend, 4 the weekekend after that,
and then
1
LA.
weekend after that, and
so
then
6 to 7.
Yeah,
6 to 7 events between now and NAIC, which is just 2 months away, not even a month and a half away. Holy crap!
I want it. I don't know. Like I could just do better by not skipping the entire beginning of the season next time, but like
sure,
I don't know if Restricted's going to click with me as much. Like I don't know. I'm close enough.
Well, so this
make a run.
This is interesting too, right? Because like it's.
I don't even really want to go Hawaii.
The Worlds is that was my next question. Like if you get your invite, are you going?
Yeah, I feel like I probably should. I want to find if there's some like native owned hotel or something. I don't have to feel guilty about going as well.
Yeah, that's true. He is just having a time.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, so like I guess it's interesting because like this is going to be a tale of 2 possibilities, right? Hello. Oh, he's on camera, kind of. Tale of 2 possibilities.
Yeah, not pleased. So maybe that'll bug him for a while.
I have had attention and it was bad. Now I go away. No, so like so you missed a good portion of the beginning of the season, right? So you didn't go to some events. You didn't get points, obviously. You continued to practice. You played. you got to mid-season, right, and then you started going to events. Like we all started going to events, you know, this side of the calendar year. So now we're towards the end of this season. You're like, holy crap, I'm doing really well. I have 300 plus points right now. I could theoretically gun for Worlds and get my invite, and like that is an accomplishment, of course. And the fact that you're so close right now, I think is very impressive too. Like, don't get me wrong, because you skipped half the season. So that's really cool. But now you can gun for Worlds. You can go to 7 to 8 more events between now.
Which is why this is such pay to win. God, yeah.
That's it, right? It's pay. Like there is a degree
like you have to also win, mind you. It's pay to get to win, even like
pay to play.
Yeah, exactly. I might spend all this money and bomb out, but
which we'll have a very different type of episode.
In which Rowan just gets blindingly drunk on stream like that.
That's when we stop being VGC. We start being a Helldivers podcast.
There we go.
No, but like still, like there's a degree of like you're fortunate enough to be able to do that, right? You can go to exactly. 8 events.
I don't have any kids. Like it's just me and my wife Ashton, like doing what we want to kind of do. Most people are not in that circumstance in life. Like,
yeah, correct.
I know I'm very lucky to even be able to try this.
Yeah, so there's that. And but at the same time, when it comes to the way that we were talking about earlier with how the season is structured, the points, with how this all goes, is there also now, like, with that in mind, is there a degree of like, oh, because of the way it's structured, I can go do this, right? Like,
is that good though? Right?
I don't know. That's what I'm trying to figure out.
If I missed half the season, should I really be allowed to just say like I'm gonna go do this hack now?
Okay, but at the same time, if you win a regional, you go to one event.
Yeah, so I mean, I think if I was going to have earned it, it should have been off of the back of the Orlando performance and maybe another good one or something, and not me like
just grinding out,
trolling through college campuses as a 30-year-old man, like trying to find small tournaments to win. Like,
yeah, I mean, yes, I don't know, but that's the thing that like we're looking at here, and I have no answer to it. Yeah. Like obviously for you and your situation, for us, for like, you know, the whole group of us like cheering you on, right? Like, it's cool that you can do it. It's fortunate that you can do it, both because of the way the structure is and just your situation. That's cool. But is it right? Is it good?
I don't know. And you know what? I have opinions on it, but it is what it is. It's a fun discussion though. Like I think a lot of people are getting very up in arms in it on Twitter, but I have kind of enjoyed reading it, especially on the TCG side too, because they have an even higher bar. I think they have 600 points, and their tournaments are even bigger and even more complex, or not complex. Like they're even bigger and even more like kind of cutthroat to make it to the next stage, I guess is what I'm getting at. Like they play a lot more than 9 rounds day one, I think. And
they also have this thing called ties.
Yeah, they have ties too. Like people can like just they purposely both forfeit to get a tie because that's better for both their records. But like some people won't do that for you either on principle or because they could theoretically do better if they win there. So it's there's a lot, even like it actually does get more complex like for TCG. Yeah. Like
no, I wholeheartedly believe that it is. It's just there's a lot.
Yeah. Anyway, you mentioned Helldivers. Have you played any of their games recently? I think I think we milked the championship point thing
championship points is cool. World is interesting. The whole gunning for World is fun. If y'all have any opinions on it, like let us know down below in the comments. It's really fun. Because it's curious, right? Like there's a myriad of different things that could change, that could happen, how it works. What do you think? I'll leave it to you. Other video games, you ask? Also, I'll just touch on this, right? Reg G is starting tomorrow. We're not going to rehash any discussion from last week's episode because not much has changed, I don't think, as far as opinions for the regulation.
I don't think so. My opinions haven't changed. I don't think any big tournaments have finished since last week either.
No. So like after Indy, we can have more discussion about Reg G. Yeah. After
Indy will be great for that.
Yeah, so like there'll be some good stuff there. So look forward to that next week. when I also start to decide what I want to play for NAIC. And actually, wait, I'm just gonna piggyback off of Rowan's building for the next 18,000 events he's going to. I'll just steal one of those teams. It'll be great. That's my plan. Good job. I like it. Other games. I'm still playing Stardew Valley. Which is what I said last week.
I didn't know that. Did you say that last week?
I super did. You got some work stuff at the end of last week, and you were very focused.
That was it. I was getting slacked.
Yeah, no, Stardew Valley. I didn't play a whole lot in this past week, compared to before. But still going through that. Still just on Summer 1, right? I'm not super far. But playing the new 1.6 update, playing the new Meadowlands farm, very, very different, very fun. Saw there's a new weather event that happens called Green Rain, which looks really cool. Has
like acid rain in your.
Well, that's what I thought it was gonna be. I thought it was gonna be acid rain. I'm like, holy crap, this is bad. No, it's just normal rain. It's green. It causes trees to be mossy and some other stuff. Whatever, you get moss as a resource a lot from that. And everyone in the town's freaking the cricketune out. Of oh my gosh, we're gonna die. And everything's open. All of the buildings are open. The whole day, but nothing is there's stores aren't open. You can't go buy things. You can't interact with everyone has a dialogue of oh my gosh, the world is ending. Oh no.
And it's just trees are growing.
It's just trees are growing, and then the next day, most of the trees revert back to normal or disappear. But it's a cool, creepy thing. Oh, and also the TV station, none of the TV stations work. It's all dot dot dot, fuzz or whatever, static. And then the day before for the weather forecast of it is I don't know what this is. There's an anomaly for the weather. I don't know. I've never seen it before. And then you see the thing.
Very weird.
Oh, that's fun. It was weird. I was hoping for a little bit more because I was ooh, this is weird.
Is that the whole update? Was just Green Rain?
No, there's more stuff too, right?
Okay.
There's 1.6 is a bunch of stuff. Again, a new farm type, new other thing. So I'm gonna get confused, right? I've not played through since 2018, 2019. So I meant to go back for the 1.5 update, which add the whole other island and the whole end game stuff. And I never did that. So now I'm oh, big update. Here's another chance to do it. Let me go play. That's a lot of what I've been doing. I've also been playing Helldivers. I'm playing more of that. Very fun. That's also progressing in some cool story stuff. If y'all, so Rowan, have you played Helldivers yet?
No, I still haven't. We got the one message. I appreciate you asking us to play the other day. It was just there was no ping, and I wasn't even home.
No,
so
that's perfectly fine. So I'll keep that in mind. But we'll play eventually, maybe this weekend. But so the thing for Helldivers, right, is there's an overarching story that is occurring. There's one guy whose job is to basically be a DM for it, a game master for the whole thing. And between the two factions you're fighting against right now, and eventually there's a third one that's coming. We know it's coming, it's just not there yet. And they've apparently interacted before. There's people were oh my gosh, we're getting shot by blue sniper laser things from the sky.
Oh, is this gonna be a Protoss, literally?
It's something Protoss-esque. But it's from the first game, from Helldivers 1.
Okay.
So it is a set thing, but it is a futuristic thing.
So it is literally Terran, Zerg, and Protoss in this.
Yeah, kinda. and also robots. Right, the other faction is robots, but you're Terrans. Right. But anywho, there's a story that's going on very slowly. Every update or so, they change some things. The new stuff happens. You have every day you have a personal order, which is normally just do something specific, kill 40 bugs with mines or something like that, right? And then every 4 or 5 days, there's a major order, which is that's normally where the story is. It's push back the automatons, protect these planets. One was turn on these towers to spray pesticide on these bugs. And then right now there's a mission that's turn off the pesticide. The bugs are adapting and mutating from this thing. So it plays into itself, which is very cool. And then there's been they added some new weapons and stratagems, it's cool. We have to play because I think it'll be very fun. It's a very different game.
Would we have to start
Pokemon.
A new instance of the game, basically?
No. So I'm I mean, I'm only level like 19 right now. I think I have friends who are like 60 something, and friends who are like 12. Like we play together. It's no big deal. And then it works out quite nicely. So yeah, we can play together no matter where we start, whatever. And you feel powerful right from the beginning. And then you realize how powerful you're not very fast. But that's a whole nother situation. You'd still feel powerful in the beginning. It's a very good hook for that game. So you should definitely pick it up. We should definitely play it.
Nice. Yeah. Speaking of updates, I think Pal World's getting a big one, so I might pick it up
really?
again. Yeah, our server kind of got abandoned. I'm pretty sure everybody's gonna all the pals will just be like dead of depression at this point.
Oh yeah, that's very true. I wish that Pal World wasn't just a flash in the pan like it was.
Yeah, apparently it's still doing really well. Like they're still making like a lot of sales.
I'm certain.
But yeah, I stopped playing once I like had gotten through all the content that was already out. But but yeah, there's a bunch more coming, and so I might try to hop back into it, or at least like make a copy of our old server locally and start playing it.
Oh yeah, there is Electric Egg Incubator. That was a new thing.
Well, I mean, there's whole new areas, whole new pals. Like there's like a full expansion basically coming.
Dude, look at this Kung Fu Frog.
Yeah,
I love him, and this mushroom thing. All right, cool. Yeah, that's good. Like I am glad to see them continuing to do things. Right, like
yeah, no, I think they took all that insane amount of money they got, used it to fix a bunch of bugs, add features people wanted. There's like there's a menu to like organize who's working on what now. Apparently, like
oh, cool. Yeah, that's actually very nice.
Yeah, all the quality of life stuff people wanted has been added, and they're adding content now. Like I think it could be fun to go back to, honestly. But yeah, other than that, I don't know what possessed me to do it, but it was on sale for $30. That's why. So I bought like a super deluxe edition of Sonic Frontiers. I haven't played a Sonic game since I was in middle school, I think, like with the adventure games.
Those are good games.
Those were good games. And I just saw really good reviews. I was like, I want to try this. And it's the Breath of the Wildification of everything.
It is, but then it's I played this game when it came out, and
really?
I want to know your opinion on it, because I played it on stream a little bit too, so it's on my YouTube channel actually. But it's what do you think? What do you think?
I'm having fun. Okay, so like there's
how far are you?
Not very. I want to say probably like a couple hours in, 2-3 hours in.
You're still in the forest then.
It is still very green if like the biome changes. I don't know. But
it does.
Okay. Like I at least so far it has like a very like skill tree Spider-Man-esque kind of power-up system, which so far I'm not feeling overwhelmed by the number of options I have. I feel like I did start to feel overwhelmed in Spider-Man to the point where it's just like I'm going to use like I found like 4 things that use my different resources, and I'm just going to cycle those and kill everything, and that works. I just don't have to use all of the cool upgrades you get, because there's just a bunch, like 30 different button combinations that do different things. And like I'm a little worried that it would get that way as I progress through the game further, because Sonic has historically been like, it's a Mario game, right? It is a classic platformer with a couple commands. Like the whole point is that like it is simple but very deep in terms of like what you can do with those little things. And I'm worried it would get a little away from that, but at least for now I'm enjoying the diversity of that. I think that the levels where you like get put into cyberspace and like actually just play a classic Sonic level are really, really fun. Like that. Yeah. That's what I was craving, I think, which maybe I should have bought a different game then. But like those are really fun. Exploring the world is really fun. The boss battles are kind of meh. I didn't love the boss battles. It's just a little like that. That's not really what Sonic's built for. Even in other Sonic games, I'd only played the classic 2D ones and the adventure games, and I think Heroes. I think that was still middle school. But all of those, I felt like the levels were great, and the bosses were just kind of like the game. Like you didn't think of these when you were building the core gameplay loop, but you have to toss them in somewhere.
Yeah, I think in Adventure had it wasn't so much like bosses as like boss-based levels, which I think were fine. If I remember, that could just be nostalgia and young Harrison thinking.
There were definitely bosses too. Which were like just kind of awkward. Like they were trying to like they have all these mechanics that were built to traverse a level and get past obstacles, and the characters can't in that game they can't even punch or kick. They can just like jump, and
Jump
so
and
you have
hit.
to like make your jump hitbox touch them in like the right way or whatever.
Yeah,
It was very
Yeah.
awkward. At least in Frontiers, you can like spam square and he'll punch, but like I don't know. I think it's a lot of fun. I don't think I'm gonna finish the whole thing, but
are you playing on PS5?
yeah,
Yeah, okay.
bought the thing. I might as well get some use out of it, right?
Fair.
But yeah, no, I mean, I'm having a good time. I think that's the direction the franchise should go, because I'd heard they just like shoveled out crap for about like literally a decade.
There's a lot of like a very, very questionable Sonic games. I think Sonic Frontiers had a very interesting like premise for what it was trying to do. I remember agreeing that definitely the cyberspace levels were like the best part, because they were like small, like legitimate Sonic games.
Yeah.
And then I think my favorite thing about like Sonic games in general is Sonic's all about gotta go fast, right?
And you're going fast.
And you go very fast in this game, and there's like the speed in this game is pretty good, like especially or even in the like overworld like areas.
The boost gauge is pretty fun. Like you can just make yourself go fast, and
there's
like
a lot of space.
Go within limits. Yeah, I think the open world exploration is pretty cool. Honestly, like they did a decent job of like putting in the like wacky elements from his levels, like the grind rails and springs and homing
and you
targets.
Build those out.
Yeah,
right? like you unlock them, and it looks like the world looks more and more and more like a Sonic level, which is very funny to me.
Although, so I will say, when I first got the game, apparently it was his birthday or it's like some anniversary thing or something like that.
Sure.
And so the game was like, do you want to put up the birthday decorations? And I was like, I guess, like whatever, it's fine. Like just hitting X to get through to the game,
Sure.
and then all of the UI just gets covered in pink confetti, and every enemy is covered in like ribbons and stuff, and the music is just this like horrible dubstep remix of Happy Birthday to You, like on loop.
I love that.
It's so supposed to be like the quiet, eerie, like ancient tech plus empty meadow kind of vibe, and instead it's just this like, what did I do? What is happening?
That's wild.
Yeah, I had to shut the game off and find out how to turn that off. I was like, this was funny for 5 minutes, and now I'm so done.
I kind of want to boot it up and see if I can find that, because that'd be fun. Yeah, actually, so what's funny too is I forget why it came up in my thoughts, but Sonic Frontiers did come up, and I was like, ooh, I should go back and I should revisit that game. Oh, because they just had an update. Like you can unlock and play like other characters, Amy, Tails, and Knuckles.
Okay, yeah, that'll be fun. I don't know.
Fun.
I apparently like the next one in the series is going to be similar to this one. I think I'd seen some news article about that, and then
really?
Yeah, I think they're coming up with like the him and Shadow because of the movie.
Oh, is that? Oh, I thought it was Generations, because the Generations games are different.
Yeah, I don't think this is that. Anyway, I saw that whatever they have in development right now is like similar to Frontiers, and that got me reading reviews, and then I saw it was on sale, and I was like, okay.
We'll look into that as we. Oh, maybe it is. That'll be fun. But yeah, the other thing that is up on my radar are, well, two things. One, Fallout 4 just had a whole update to make it like Steam Deck compatible.
Yeah, we started watching the Fallout TV show, so I was like, I only messed around with this in college. Like, I would actually like to play the games again.
Yeah, I was like, that's on my like, I'm itching.
Would you recommend Fallout 4 or 3/New Vegas?
Well, 3 and New Vegas is like touted as the best game in the series. I've actually only ever played 4 and 76.
Okay, I heard horrible things about 76.
76 was bad. Now
it became
is good.
Less bad. Okay.
Yeah. Okay. It's actually pretty good. Is what I understand it to be. It is MMO.
Okay.
Which is interesting. Which I really liked the idea of a Fallout MMO, because I feel like the Fallout world is a cool one to play in with people. And it proved like it was fun. Like it was still good. Like gameplay stuff, but there was like, because there were no humans, no robots, no, like the questing was really weird in that game in the beginning. But they like fleshed it out, added a bunch of stuff, and like now apparently it's good. I've been meaning to check that out just to know that I can. So like I started Fallout 4. I played about 30 minutes of it. Didn't get very far on my Steam Deck just to see how it played. And it was okay. I was kind of impressed. And also Sea of Thieves just got an update. So there's plenty of games when I want to put off practicing for NAIC. Because that's what I'm going to do.
Yeah, unfortunately, that is pretty much it. Other games are going to kind of take a backseat for the next month for me. If I'm going to spend all this money traveling,
you kind of got to be serious about it, right?
Yeah. So I've got some stuff. Kyogre Archaludon's looking good to me. I'll share some sauce with you. Yeah. And Calyrex Sice looking pretty good. I don't think I have it in me to be a Shadow Rider player. It's
why?
Everybody, the mirror. I don't know if you've ever just like clenched as you flipped a coin and hoped your Astral Barrage hits first, but that sucks. Second, it is public enemy number 1, so everyone is prepping for you so hard.
Yeah,
every team has Wide Guard and Terra Dark and Terra Normal and etc. Yeah, it's a bad time. So yeah, I'm thinking Ogre or Kali-I, but we'll see. I don't know. I'm trying to stay open-minded.
Nice. I'm very excited to see. I'm really excited to see what comes out of Indy.
Yeah, me too. It's gonna like really set the meta.
Yeah, absolutely. But that'll be next week.
Exactly. Do we want to wrap it up here?
Yeah, if there's nothing else.
We milked more out of this week than I thought we would.
Yeah, we went into right before recording and we were like, this is gonna be a really short episode, and we talked more about points and structure of the season than I thought, and then we talked about Sonic Frontiers, so it's a good time. I'm super okay with this. So I think that's it. I have been Harrison. You can find me at row_ixon and all the places. Rowan, who are you?
I'm Rowan. You can find me at Rowan W Hall on Twitter. That's pretty much it.
Oh yeah, and together we have been the Game Corner. You can find us at Game Corner VGC, the Game Corner Podcast, etc., etc. You can also now, although this is super late to be telling you, listener, we're on other platforms now, including Amazon Music, Apple Podcasts, and other things, iHeartRadio. So look for us there. Now,
Apple Podcast is the most convenient thing on an iPhone, so I think that's pretty good, actually.
Yeah, I'm pretty excited about that. So also, the other thing about Apple Podcasts is now we can be like a real podcast and be like, hey, can you leave us a 5-star review on Apple Podcasts?
It would be super helpful.
Which is very funny. Actually, yell at me. I need to post that on socials. I haven't done that yet. I've been so sleepy. That's a different story. But yeah, find us in all the places there. Thank you to Rob KTA and Game Chops for the use of our theme song Goldenrod Game Corner off the Ultra Ball album. You can find a link to all of our stuff in the Discord and the Discord in the link tree down below. And no matter what you decide to play, until next time, press start and game on.